Hello guys, welcome back. In this today's class we will understand multiplexer as well as the demultiplexing concept, right? So first we will understand what is the basic operation of the multiplexer. Then we will try to solve some problem by using of the multiplexer, right? So what is a multiplexer means? It is a combinational logic circuit which have many number of data inputs and it will produce only single output at a point of time, right? So that is depending on the control or selection line operation. So what is the meaning of this one is, suppose if you say take something like this, right? So we may have the one input, two input, or it may be n number of inputs. Let it be the maximum number of input will be 2 power n, right? So here we will be having the something called as the selector. So either we can pass this one or this one or this one. So at a time only you will be getting the single output value as the y, right? So this is the operation of the multiplexer, right? So what is the definition is multiplexer, right? So which have many data inputs, nothing but maximum number of possibility will be 2 power n. Out of 2 power n, any one of the input will be routed to the output value, only one at a time, right? So if you want to control mechanism, you can take the control mechanism also, right? So multiplexer means in simplest way you can tell that conversion from 2 power n to n, right? So here if you consider this, inputs are the parallel information. Parallel information we will be having the multiple information. That multiple information we are going to convert into the single channel, right? So single information, right? So what is the application of multiplexer means? Is a parallel operation is going to convert it in terms of the serial operation, right? So we will consider one real time example. Suppose this is my dish TV where I am going to get the number of channels. For example, let it be it is going to provide the thousands of the channels, right? So now here at the display we can able to play only one channel at a time, right? So we can able to see one channel at a time. So it means that out of these many channels, nothing but these thousands of channel at a time I can able to watch only single channel. Now here if you observe, here the input is parallel, so at a time we can able to see one output, means it is nothing but the serial operation. Now question is that who will convert this parallel information to the serial information? There we have the concept called as the multiplexer. So out of this one, right, so which will select any one of the input will be output value, so that we can able to see the on the display, right? So this is how multiplexer concept will work, right? So it will convert the 2 power n data into the single output, right? Now we see that we have something called as the TV remote, or that is also we can call it as the controller selection line operation. Now we'll see what is the meaning of controller selection line operation, what is the need of this one selection line operation. But if you see this multiplexer, suppose for example say channel number 1, channel number 2, channel number 3 and so on something, channel number 1023, 1024 something, I have these many channels, right? But at a time at output only I can able to see the one channel at a time, right? Now see that by default behavior of the multiplexer or mux is that the first output will be this one, after some time this one, this one, this one. The moment you reach to the 1024, right? So first it should be switched from 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 4 up to 1024, then it will be going to produce the output value. Now see that here let it be my requirement is something World Cup is or IPL, whatever it may be, the playing on channel number 1024. Now what is my requirement is that by default behavior of the multiplexer is the first input will be output value. Now what is my requirement? I should not wait for 1 2 3 4 the moment which reaches to the 1024. My first preference is that only 1024 instead of coming from 1 2 3 4 something, right? So here if you see that here we require something called as the priority based mechanism. What is a priority based mechanism means? Out of these many channels my first requirement is 1024. It means that my priority is that 1024 should be my first output channel in the TV display. Now how we can able to perform this one is by using of something called as the selection line operation, or we can also call it as the control operation, right? So selection operation or control operation. So what is the meaning of the selection line or control line operation will do is, right? So out of this one, what is our first priority? 1024, right? The moment you press that 1024 button in your remote, so directly it will go to as your first output. Instead of 1, the first output will be itself with the 1024, right? If you don't have the selection line mechanism or control line mechanism, then your first output will be 1, then 2, something like this. If you have the control mechanism, Then so whatever your required channel to be first, that will be displayed as the first, right? So that is the use of the selection line operation, right? So here in real case the TV remote will be work as the selection line. Out of these many channels, so whatever the channel number you want, you are going to press in the corresponding TV remote, so that particular channel will be displayed at the output. So this is how multiplexer will perform conversion of the parallel information to the serial information, right? So if we don't require to conversion from parallel to serial information, then we don't require the multiplexing concept, right? Now we'll see that for given input how many selection lines are required, right? Now suppose for example, so let me take something like this. So I have the 4 inputs. So let us say input 0, input 1, input 2, input 3. So at a time either I0, I1, I2, I3 will be our output value, right? If you want to priority based mechanism, we should have the selection line, right? So the input maximum possibility we can represent with the 2 power n, where n represent the selection line operation. Suppose for example if you take, right, 4 input, right? So 4 input means how we can able to write in terms of 2 power n formula, 2 power 2, right, where 2 represent the number of selection line, n is nothing but the number of selection line. So 2 power 2 means 2 is the number of selection. So how many selection lines are required? S0, S1, 2 selection lines are required, right? So this is nothing but 4 to 1 multiplexer, right? Now for example if you have the 8 inputs, right? So 8 is to 1 multiplexer, something we have. Now how to identify how many selection lines are required? So 8 means we can write in terms of 2 power 3, right, where 3 represent the number of selection line. If you have 16 is to 1 multiplexer, number of selection lines are 4. Now question is that suppose for example 5 is to 1 multiplexer, right? So it means that 5 inputs should be converted at any time only single output. Now can you able to identify how many selection lines are required? If you take, this is easy, it will not be in terms of the 2 power n formula, right? So even though we need to find out how many number of selection lines are required. Suppose for example if you take 2 selection lines, how many possibilities you will be getting? 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, right? It means that possibility 0 1 2 as well as 3. It means that you will be getting only 4 possibilities, but we have the 5th possibility also, right? So for that minimum number of selection lines will be 3 selection lines are required in case of the 5 is to 1 multiplexer. Now you can ask me, for example if I take 3 selections, so 3 selection means how many possibilities we will be getting? 8, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? Sorry, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So as per my requirement only 5 is there, right? So first, second, third, fourth, 5. Then what is the use of 5 6 7? These are called as the unused channel, we can use for the future purpose. It means that if you consider in TV remote also, what is the last button? 9, right? It means that you can press something 9999, right? But those many channels you will be not getting in your dish TV, right? It means that these are reserved for the future purpose, right? So minimum should be 3, maximum can be any number of selection lines. Now we will see that what is the operation of demultiplexing concept, right? So as we know that in case of multiplexing, it is converting 2 power number of inputs into the single output, right? So but obviously this is my input value, nothing but 4 input, right? So finally my output also 4 outputs only, right? Because input should be equal to the output value. But here if you observe here, we don't have separate mechanism to send the all the 4 information at a time. So we have only single communication channel, let it be something like this. So we are going to pass this information first I0, then after some time I1, then after some time I2, then after some time I3, right? So we are converting multiple information through the single channel or single communication medium channel, right? Now what is the thing is that after somehow my input should be equal to output value. So now multiplexing operation is completed, right? Now what we have to do means, right? So here if you observe here, data selection is completed, right? So data means input value I1, I0, I2, I3. So out of this one, any one will be routed as the output value. So out of this data selection is completed. Now we have something called as the demultiplexer or data distributor. So what is the meaning of demultiplexer or data distributor means? Suppose this information, again what we have to do? We need to convert back into the individual information, right? I0, I1, I2, I3, right? Now who will convert this single input, right? So the single input right now, multiplexer. Output of the multiplexer is the Y1, right? So who will convert this single input into multiple output means there we will be having the reverse operation of the multiplexer is called as the demultiplexer. What is the operation of demultiplexer? it will convert single input to the 2 power n number of the output, right? So where multiplexer will perform the 2 power n number of inputs to the single output value, right? If you want priority based mechanism, then we required selection line. So here also in the same case we required the selection line, right? So this is the concept of the multiplexing and demultiplexing, right? In the next class we will see what is the real time application of the multiplexer and demultiplexer operation. Thank you.